Let me pull up this video. Sorry, because this is in line with what we're talking about. Luke just sent me this.
Yep.
This is a video from Cam Higby. A leftist decided to physically attack me at Union Station tonight. I deployed mace in self-defense. It's an important video. I want to.
Here's the light. Here's the light.
Stop. Oh. Hey, dumb, stupid bitch. Back the fuck up.
So this is Cam Higby. He's been going to universities. He's been offering up debates, sitting down in chairs. And this is what they try to do. It's antagonistic, low-grade attacks. Well, he's defending himself.
Is she like on her knees right there? I'm trying to...
Pushing into him and then trying to grab his hat or the microphone.
Yeah, okay.
And then he deploys mace.
Good.
I don't want to see any of this happen. I don't.
Horrible.
But the problem is, if you watch every time someone like Andy Ngo or Nick Shirley or literally anybody goes on the ground, they play this game where they know that they're doing enough to disrupt, to lightly damage, but it's hard to get police to do anything about it.
Yeah, he might get in trouble now. If the district attorney sees this clip and they're financed by George Soros, they're like, oh no, he used mace. Oh, why did he use mace? And there's a big chance, and it has happened in places like New York City where people defend themselves. You go to jail, which is insane.
So I was just going to say, Jamie Raskin ordered a hit on me at Union Station a couple of weeks ago. What? And I'm going to this pro-life gala, and I get off the train at Union Station, and actually my wife had been there to pick me up, and I happen to see that Jamie Raskin is there with like a bunch of union workers, and this is when they were doing the anti-Doge stuff. And I said, oh wow, Jamie Raskin, and he's got a bullhorn. So I walk over, and it's Jamie Raskin. So I start filming, and he's going and surrounded by all these union workers. And Jamie Raskin is going, and he's doing his thing, and then he starts saying, and you know something, the people are with us, the American people are with us, they support us, they support what we're doing. And I just sit there and I'm like, well, Jamie, if the American people support you, why'd they vote for Donald Trump? If they support you so much. And he's like, what? And then he just like gestures at me. The entire crowd of union workers comes in and just starts beating me. They grab my bag, which right here, which had my tablet in it. They attack my phone. They do all of this. I've got all this on video.
Wow. They
push me. They're shoving me out the 6 days from Sunday. And I go over. Now they get across. Capitol Police start screaming at me. Capitol Police start saying, why did you start a fight over there? And they said that, and then the union guys went over to Capitol Police and said, hey, can you arrest that guy? He's threatening the congressman.
Wow.
And I said, I have the entire thing on video. I'm more than happy to show this to you. I never made a single threat. I never made a threatening gesture. And then the Capitol Police officer told me that, oh, well, I can see you moving towards him. I said, I'm moving towards him because the crowd is shoving me towards him after he pointed at me to be assaulted. I made a report about this. Capitol Police has never done anything. And I pointed out exactly who it was. They just let them all walk away.
I just, look, I can respect and appreciate a lot of the moves that the executive branch is making, but
that's actually legislative.
As an aside too, I'm wondering, like with this Alex Jones thing, like why isn't there any kind of intervention at the federal level over what a clear violation of his rights? I guess
you mean with the company?
Yeah, like come on. I mean, it's a bit egregious and insane over defamation to completely destroy a company 10 years later. I'm not going to defend what he said, but it's ridiculous the lengths they went to destroy InfoWars. And I'm saying, okay, look, is perhaps there like a Harmeet Dillon angle on civil rights being violated here or something with the courts in the state that they could stop this?
We should pull up the story if we haven't yet. I don't think we pulled it up on the show yet, but
that Alex Jones is shutting down.
Yeah, he just mentioned that the court said today they're taking him down.
Yeah, I haven't seen the latest.
To be fair, the challenge on this one is, and with all due respect to Alex, is we've heard this quite a bit.
At least 3 times, yeah.
Yeah, so we've heard quite a bit. The judge has ordered the shutdown, and we've covered it, and then there's a stay of some sort. So we have another one of these stories where he's saying federal judge greenlights the shutdown, something may intervene. But isn't there something to be done now with winning the election where we have the DOJ, the Civil Rights Division, that we can start countering these things?
Yes.
I do get that there's finite bandwidth, but we need now more than ever to see, like, Jack, why did they let those guys attack you? I mean, we know what these people are doing.
Right. And
someone's got to
this is, and I posted the video, and again, Capitol Police never even reached out to me afterwards. I did have some good communication with the speaker's office afterwards, where I discussed it and they looked into it, but couldn't even get a sit down.
They couldn't even get rid of pull Ilhan Omar off of her committees.
It feels like I've been reading about the fascists of the 1920s.
People don't get what time we're in.
And the craziness of mobs, like how a mob can just do some horrible thing to another human, and then it's over. And then like what? Then there's the mob standing around, and did the mob disperses, and like just don't be that guy that enraged the mob.
I want you to imagine that you're standing on the gallows in front of a sea of 1,000 liberals. And the executioner is walking up to the noose and they say, plead your case to the people. Do you believe that there is anything you could say in any infinite amount of time that would make them say, this man should be allowed to live and be free to go?
Nope. Technically, but I doubt I'd come up with it.
That's actually a decent answer. I mean, in the grand scheme of the universe, you could probably figure out something, but in all reality, it's 99.99% they don't know, they don't care. They're going to scream, burn the witch. They're going to scream boo. They're going to throw rocks.
Don't be the witch. Don't be the rich.
It's Robespierre. It's France.
How do you?
They did not know or care. They set off with their heads.
And I sense bloodthirst in these mobs sometimes. I don't know. When you tell me that you were yelling, well, did you yell when you yell at Raskin with a big crowd? Or would you do it again?
Of course, I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
Why?
Because this is the United States of America, and I'm allowed to have freedom of speech. And if this guy is going to be some leader who, by the way, threw Steve Bannon in jail, threw Jamie Raskin, threw Peter Navarro in jail over a complete lie over January 6th, and I can't even go up and confront him in public without having a union mob of his thugs attack me, then you know what? Then I am going to do that, and we're going to continue to do that, because if we cower, then they win.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to be cowardly.
And by the way, Turning Point USA, by the way, is going to continue doing events. And yes, to your point, we are going to continue being tactical. And look, sometimes it takes those tactics to be able to force a conversation. And look, I did not expect a sitting member of Congress to do that, but that is how blatantly untouchable these people feel they are. And you know what? We're letting them. We're the ones letting them be untouchable.
It's like that video with Cam where these liberals assault people and get away with it all the time. This only stops when police start just arresting them. When feds go out arresting them. So long as these cities keep saying liberals are allowed to do it, there's only you know what I heard, Jack? I heard that there's a lot of people from Washington moving to Arizona.
I mean, there's a lot. The left coast coming in.
Yeah, why are they leaving? Could it be that Portland is a war zone? The businesses are shut down.
What, Oregon?
Was it?
You said Washington.
Oh, right. Well, I just mean Pacific Northwest. From the left coast. And so you've got Seattle is a disaster. Portland is a disaster. So people are fleeing. The end result of this is obvious. The politically appointed police and politicians that get elected in these places are not going to change the way they handle things. Nope. More and more regular people will flee the anarcho-tyranny, and you will get geographic bifurcation. What does that result in?
Well, I mean, it depends. You know, you've got. I get what you're going for, but it results in massive schisms in the United States, particularly on flash button issues. One of which would be because of the Dobbs decision is now a states' rights issue is abortion. So you're going to get a situation where certain states are going to have wildly different laws from other states, but you're also going to. But here's the key difference: you're going to have a group of people who says those states aren't allowed to have those laws.
Let's do some math real quick, some political math. California has banned federal agents from any law enforcement from wearing masks, which is targeting ICE. The DHS has instructed their agents to continue wearing their masks.
Yeah, they have no ability to instruct federal agents.
Will Gavin Newsom enforce his own laws?
So have his police go up against, or like state troopers, I suppose.
State troopers, are they going to enforce the mask law against federal
He's
law
not going to do
enforcement?
that.
He's not going to do it.
No, I don't think he's going to do it. I think
what if he does?
What if he did? Then you would absolutely get into a standoff of state and federal authority where you could have a clash.
So the question right now is
hypothetically.
Simply,
I don't think it would, but hypothetically.
The question is, will Gavin Newsom seek to enforce this law? Because, and everyone wants to say no, I'm fine with the assumption that it won't, but I'm also concerned about normalcy bias and optimism bias. Gavin Newsom wants to win the presidency, has already stated he fears there won't be an election, and he's going to do what the people in California tell him to do, and they are going to say, ICE is kidnapping people, they are black bagging my neighbors, Newsom, do something, and he's going to be like, this is my path to victory. That's why they have the law in the first place. I believe there's actually a decent probability he does try to enforce this. Now, the real risk is, I think the likely path of enforcement, if he does, this takes effect January 1st, 26, is through, I believe they say that it's a civil fine. It's a misdemeanor that results in a civil penalty for these law enforcement officers. These ICE officers live in California, and they work for the federalized facilities in that state. I think the state's going to go after their homes, their resources, their assets, and they're going to put the pressure on the ICE agents of, if you obey Trump, we will take your life from you. We'll put your family at risk financially and through resource. It's not going to be so obvious and easy as they're going to try and have you arrested, which creates bad optics. It's literally going to be a sheriff shows up to the guy's house and says, look, we've got an order for, we're taking your house. You owe the state $37,000 that you haven't paid, so we're seizing your assets. It's not going to be an overtly political issue. It's going to be the story of a guy who owes money to the state for some reason. This is the conflict that results in federal agents saying we can't do this job anymore. There is going to be a muddy conflict between the state and the federal government. We've already seen one of the more terrifying things of Gavin Newsom asserting authority over the National Guard, Trump asserting his authority, it going to the courts, it's bouncing back and forth. Now Oregon is doing the same thing, suing the federal government over whether or not Trump has the actual authority to command the National Guard. What happens when the constituents of California or Oregon demand of their governors stop listening to Trump? What he's doing is illegal. They've already asserted it's illegal. They believe it's illegal. They're going to say Trump packed the courts. You know what? Let's go to why I think the Jedi are the bad guys, and I mean somewhat jokingly. But the line in Revenge of the Sith, when Anakin says we can't kill the Emperor, which put him on trial, and he says he controls the courts, he controls this, and he must be stopped now. That line of thinking, these people think that they are the fictional heroes who are saying Trump controls the courts, he controls the Supreme Court, it's corrupt and illegal what they're doing, they must be stopped.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.